remember that they're changing my voice. Let's talk sense here. First of all, when Patrick Henry said, "Give me liberty or give me death," or when you read that in the history book, were you like, "Hey, that's crazy. And why would anyone do that?" Or was it logical? So the governing class, therefore, cannot do whatever they want without there being some kind of response, right? Whether it's people having a peaceful protest, what have you. And if they go too far with it, then it's logical for someone to want to fight to the death or to commit suicide. That is something that is not just obvious, right? It's been established universally. It's something that has also been established in American history, in American culture, in Americanism, if you will. The message there wasn't to give him a fake form of freedom or give him death. It was to give him actual freedom. Liberty interpreted as actual freedom, not some occult definition, actual freedom. Pretty straightforward. So therefore, after everyone and their mom agreed on it, and no one ever spoke out against that idea, it is cowardly. It is cowardly nonsense for someone to then say, well, that doesn't make sense, or that's an inferior path, or that's equal to the coward route. Pretty straightforward, right? So when we see the failure of the government, right, in this oligarchy that we see here, right, corporations controlling both parties, their failure to have a sound plan for homelessness, child hunger, healthcare, for rehabs for the poor, and these are easy things to fix, easy. Vice taxes, luxury taxes, pet food taxes, wealth taxes, affordable versions of these things. When we see them failing to do that, they've crossed the line. Now, when you start complaining, how do they respond? If they then persecute you for complaining, it's logical. And I'm not telling anyone to be violent here, mind you. I'm establishing points of references. It's logical in that scenario to be willing to fight to the death or commit suicide. Open and shut. Anyone who says otherwise is stupid. If they're preventing you from expressing yourself and trying to assemble people for a sane solution for these serious problems that are massacring people, 100,000 deaths of drug overdoses every year, 800,000 homeless people, over 100,000 homeless children. Pretty straightforward. So I'm talking sense. The government is not talking sense. And law enforcement and the military, when they don't get together and say, hey, we are former law enforcement or current law enforcement, and we don't approve of the situation here. Okay? Former military. When they don't get together for a sound and direct and obvious solution, then they're defining those organizations and entities as failing to be moral, failing to have sense. Are you following me so far? And so it is with social clubs, corporations, every group you can think of. So society, every group that you can think of, has defined itself as just playing the propaganda game and refusing to stand up for what is actual justice and actual freedom. That includes the people at the No Kings protest. Some of the things they said were important, like freedom and justice. Okay? But the way they said it, and actions speak louder than words, mind you, made it very simple for the right wing to say that they're insane and that they're clowns. Therefore, they're not talking sense because actions speak louder than words. Did they say someone put a gun to their head or someone hacked their brains and made it that way? No. They just presented themselves as clowns. And as a result, we see the effect that you would expect. The expected output occurred. Not a damn thing. Not a shred of hope. Not a touch of hope. Just more propaganda nonsense. When you respond to very serious issues like a gay parade, or like a bunch of kids on a McDonald's playground running around, instead of scrambling to be disciplined and logical and moral, and you have failed miserably. You have failed to be a man, you have failed to be moral, you have failed to be just, you have failed to send the right message, you have failed to organize for the highest cause. Failure. And you've also made it clear that democracy also fails because people have been trained by bitches. There's no other way to look at it. Now, I'm going to end by saying this. Is America England? Or is it Israel? Or is this one big gay place? Is it Chuck E. Cheese? What is America? America's a place where you're supposed to be able to pursue your dreams within the boundaries of justice, right? Liberty and justice for all. Freedom and justice. The Constitution is supposed to be refined based on universal freedom and justice. Not white supremacy, black supremacy, Jewish supremacy, gay supremacy, but universal freedom and justice. So therefore, the solution cannot be a bunch of English people coming in and insisting on their way. A bunch of Israeli people coming in and insisting on their way. A bunch of LGBT. It has to be universal. It has to allow for people to pursue their dreams. And it also must come with compensation for me and anyone else who's done anything near what I've done and been persecuted for it. Because you can't just persecute someone for decades and cripple them and then turn around and say, well, okay, we're going to start to change now, get a job. No, you don't get to tell me shit, no matter how you slice it. I'm going to stand by what I believe, and that is give me freedom and justice or give me death, period. No other way to look at it. Non-negotiable. I'm not your bitch, okay? I'm the top martial artist ever possible and someone who understands the importance of freedom and justice. Without freedom and justice, life is not worth living. And I will not be the slave to a bunch of fucking oligarchs like a fucking bitch.